The next delegation to take the floor is the distinguished representative of Turkmenistan, followed by Armenia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. First of all, let me express gratitude to the OSCE's ODIHR for the excellent organization of our work. To begin with, I would like to stress the fact that in recent years, Turkmenistan has been giving new impetus to its cooperation with the OSCE, the EU, and the European Parliament in the humanitarian sphere, which is an integral part of the work being done in our country to ensure further democratization of social life. Dear participants in this meeting, in the process of changing its political system in Turkmenistan, we are seeing new political parties being created. In addition to the Democratic Party, there is now a party of industrialists and entrepreneurs and an agrarian party. This process of creation of new political structures is resulting in more political activism of the population and the setting up of new civil society institutions, which are being very active. As an important event in our internal political life, we have this process of constitutional reform that started in May of last year. On 10th September of this year, there was a meeting of the Council of Elders that was personally attended by the President of Turkmenistan, Mr. Berdi Muhamedov, who proposed that there be new additions to the basic law, to the constitutional law, that would constitutionally guarantee matters such as political pluralism, the guarantee of the state for the development of civil society, the rule of law, and many others. And this is associated with implementation of recommendations from the Universal Periodic Review. In particular, we've been working since the beginning of this year on a draft law for a human rights ombudsman, which shows how attached we are to implementing the Rome Statute Institute recommendations. And by the end of this year, we expect to adopt a national plan on human rights, so we are implementing our international commitments through the provision of national reports to various organs of the UN. Gender equality is extremely important for us as well. The women in Turkmenistan represent 46% of all workers at various levels of governmental administration. We have 25.4% women working. In January of this year, a national plan on gender equality was adopted. One of the spheres of legal reform has to do, of course, with improving the penitentiary system. From 2011 to 2015, we allocated $40 million US for renovation and modernization of penitentiary institutions, including the purchase of medical equipment. And a lot of attention is being paid to training the staff of the penitentiary system. And in this connection, Turkmenistan is exchanging experience with other countries through the OSCE and others. And as a result of this, over the last 3 years, some 2,000 employees of the penitentiary system participated in training seminars and courses. Together with the OSCE, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and other international groups, humanitarian work has been done in our penitentiary institutions. For example, in accordance with our plan, representatives of the International Red Cross and the OSCE have visited 5 penitentiary institutions, and this work is continuing as we speak. The representatives of the diplomatic missions of the US, Great Britain, and others are visiting various prisons in the country. Now, you are familiar with the various structures that are interested in obtaining information about particular prisoners. They want to obtain information about their status or to have them released. Now, it might be mentioned that over the last 2 years, Turkmenistan has engaged in active dialogue on this with various bodies of the UN, the EU, and others. As a result of this, some 1/2 of the citizens on the lists that have been submitted have either been released or information has been provided about their status. As an example, I might mention Mr. Ananyazov, who was recently moved to a prison in the city of Tejen, and it is possible there for members of his family to obtain information about his status and to meet with him. And all of this shows, I think, that Turkmenistan is very interested in a dialogue on a fully equal basis and not a monologue when it comes to human rights. I must say that I'm quite surprised by the comments that have been made by the United States about the increase in the number of political prisoners. I mean, the representative of such a major country really should speak on the basis of concrete and verified facts. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw attention to the development of our social policy. Turkmenistan is providing social advantages to its population that have no comparable analogs in worldwide practice. Look at the figures. Over the last 8 years, the average wage has increased 10% per year. By the end of this year, 12 hospitals, 20 clinics, 21 kindergartens, 31 schools, 14 cultural centers, and 4 sports schools will be built. And next year we'll be building 12 hospitals, 27 clinics, 16 kindergartens, 40 schools, 7 cultural centers, 5 towns, and 5 villages. In accordance with our national program on transformation of rural areas by 2020, we will be building housing in an amount of a total 3 million square meters, also 44 hospitals, 72 healthcare homes and centers, 260 schools, etc. Now, I just have one question. Who is this being done for? Just for some small privileged group? No, not at all. It's being done for the whole society and for future generations. That must be understood and properly taken into consideration. Thank you for your attention.